This workshop is going to be about background vocals, how I blend them, how I affect them, and how I try to allow them to be supportive and add energy to the mix. Most of the time, I get background vocals that are pre-blended for me. Depending on the artist, the choice of which harmony is louder or softer is really a personal thing. It's a very rare thing that I'm deciding whether the third harmony is louder or lower than the first harmony. And that's primarily because with Pro Tools in this day and age, the artist can sit with the producer and get those elements exactly the way they want them before they send it to me. I am afforded the individual tracks, which allows me to do some management. And occasionally I like to change that slightly, usually just for a phrase or a couple words. And that way I can change that energy or that vibe just for perhaps the words right before the chorus drops or at the end of the chorus, something like that. And that can it keeps the listener compelled, which is ultimately the most important thing. If the vocal sound is the same in every chorus and the blends are the same in every chorus, sometimes it gets boring. It's highly important for me to make sure that people don't get bored. This vocal, we're working with an artist named K.Flay on a song called Dreamers. And in this case, they sent me both. They sent me blended vocals in a 2-track stem, and they sent me with effects, and then they sent me dry vocals. And for this demonstration, we're going to be using the dry vocals, which may not be the correct blend, but we'll see what we can do.
Letting me go, and even though I was afraid, you gotta do some things on your own. So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be, and I want more, 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 I want more.
Okay, so you get the idea of what they're doing here. This is generally quite a supportive role these backgrounds are playing, and they're really just trying to raise the overall energy level of the track. So let's find our different parts here.
This one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be, and I want more, 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 I want more.
Okay, so you can hear that they're recorded perfectly. There's that little delay in there that they've added, which is the only effect. It does sound like they've been EQ'd and compressed a little bit, so it doesn't seem that we're going to need a lot of individual, doctoring here. It really seems like an overall blend and compaction of energy is what's going to be necessary. The bottom 2 tracks seem to be the doubles with the lead. Let's check that and see how that feels.
So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what...
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do in that case, knowing that these are her doubles, is I'm going to put a de-esser on these vocals, on these background vocals. Any of you who have attended the seminars here at Mix with the Masters know that one of the things I teach is we don't need more than one S. Your ear can't discern between how many S's are there unless they're out of time. So in this case, we want to hear a little bit of that double S, but much lower level. That'll keep the lead vocal in the center in front of the listener.
So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be. And I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more.
So you can hear that getting rid of those S's brings out that lead vocal in the center. You never lose her, even with these loud doubles happening on the left and the right sides. I may have gone too far, but we're just getting started. Let's listen to some of the harmony bits.
So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be. And I want more. So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be.
This is another double layer, but for some reason, for me, it's adding a bit of bottom end that I'm not crazy about. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a breath, a sort of breathier version. I don't feel like I need a third double. So what I'm going to try to do, if it works, is EQ out the bottom and see if I can't get this to be a breathy addition to that group.
So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be. And I want more, I want more. This one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be. And I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more. So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be.
Okay, so you hear that it's sort of giving it just a breathy background to it. I'm going to kind of compress that package a little bit more so that it's really up in your face. Maybe I'll try this guy again.
So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be. And I want more, 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 I want more.
Okay, now let's try with the other doubles.
So this one goes out to all the dreamers at sea. This life is only what you want it to be. And I want more, 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 I want more.
So immediately you can hear exactly what I'm trying to do here. The two main doubles are adding body and width. This double is adding breathy, high frequency. You can't really tell what it's doing, but it's just lifting the energy up, especially in those high frequencies.